Greetings, sailors, and welcome to just a regular Warships replay. And it's actually quite refreshing for me to be able to say that, because the first half of April has just been a bit different and mad in a way, because there's been obviously being whisked off to the WGL Grand Finals to play that show match, and that was a lot of fun. But also, of course, it took a few days out to get all that done. There's been, so far, 3 premium previews for both Warships and World of Tanks, with the possibility of more to come in April. And there's also been the Master of Orion Early Access 2 video, which was actually some Master of Orion 2 footage, and it was for a reason, but not everyone thought it was a good reason. And, of course, I've also had a regular supporter spotlight video. Have I even managed to fit in KOTOR or CK2 in the first half of... I can't even remember. It's just been a bit hectic anyway. And I'm hoping the second half of April will be slightly calmer. But it might not be, because Stellaris is on the horizon as well. So, we'll see. Anyway, this is the Anshan, the Tier 6 Pan-Asian Tree Destroyer, which is basically an up-tiered Gnevny. And I can't remember the particulars of this now. I'm sure I did lots of comparative ship stats when I was doing the preview of this, when this first came out. But suffice it to say, it's basically a Soviet-style destroyer, and it's a pretty capable little gunboat. It's also got much better torpedoes than its Soviet contemporaries. Apart from the Gremyashi, I would say the Gremyashi, of all these kind of mid-tiered Soviet destroyers, it's still by far the best, and it kind of retroactively became better very quickly after the rest of the Soviet destroyers came out. But yeah, still, even though it's got better torpedoes than the Ognavoy, which is exactly what I'm shooting at right now, better torps than the Gnevny that it's based on, I honestly find myself doing this a lot more still, using the guns, and they are very, very nice guns indeed. 130mm, quite fast firing, you've got decent turret traverse, and even in this kind of situation where it's 2 versus 1 right now, it's also fast enough and maneuverable enough that you can do what I'm doing, which is just try your best to dodge incoming shells. So I've taken 1 or 2 hits, but nothing catastrophic so far. And even though one of the things shooting at me is an Atlanta, which in theory is very, very dangerous to destroyers, he's far enough away that he's going to have a really hard time actually hitting me. And this Atlanta, by the way, he's kind of special, and you'll see why. For now, however, I'd much rather concentrate on the Ognavoy, because he's faster than the Atlanta, he's more stealthy than the Atlanta, and he's got... Well, actually, no, the Atlanta's got better torps than the Ognavoy. It's just the Ognavoy is easier to kill than the Atlanta, I suppose. He's got less health, less armour, so I can be more assured of doing catastrophic damage. Now, I'm taking some guesswork shots here. I know I've set a fire on this guy, and there's another fire, so... Even if I don't land a single other hit on the Ognavoy, he's done for at this point. He's actually running aground in panic, but it doesn't matter. Running aground or not, he's... and there we go, he burns out. He was just dead at that point. So it looks like the enemy team, I mean, they've lost a couple of ships already, and we haven't. It's more of their team is on this side, so we're kind of outnumbered. Not a huge amount, but kind of. No, that Hatsuharu, by the way, he's about to die, but you would think the Atlanta driver would have gone, ooh, Hatsuharu, low health, one-shot kill Hatsuharu. But no, he's just now completely tunnel-visioned on me. And will continue to do so up until the point where he dies. So the point where I actually wondered if he was a bot, maybe? Just because he was so single-minded? But I don't think this player was a bot. It is possible. It is possible. And there's been no hint in the chat as to whether this could actually be true or not. But maybe it's that he recognised my name and went, oh my god, a YouTuber! I have to kill the YouTuber! I must kill the YouTuber! These things happen, but to me, not very often. So I'm more inclined to think that he just got so single-mindedly focused on I must kill this destroyer for whatever reason, rather than it being because it was me. But it could be. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so despite the fact that he's ploughing towards 3 enemy ships and, you know, it would have been very sensible just to turn around and run away, despite the fact he's taking fire, and he could be going for the much lower health Kirov, who, as you can see, has already taken some hits there. Probably not many, actually. The Kirov's so squashy that it only has to be 1 or 2 hits and suddenly 75% of your health is gone. But, no, he's dying, and he doesn't care. He's just sailing along in straight lines, firing at me continuously. He landed maybe 2 hits. I mean, I really wasn't that worried. I was probably, I mean, I would have been on voice comms with Andy CX in my division there, in the Fuso. I would have been saying something like, could you maybe shoot at this guy, please? But I wasn't seriously worried, just because I could keep turning my ship and dodging those shells. And it was not really that difficult to do, all things considered, so yeah, don't do that. Don't tunnel vision like that, guy, because it will just get you wrecked for absolutely no good purpose. So we skipped a little bit ahead, and I'm trying to help out Andy here. I mean, they are pushing a bit, but we have enough ships around that, I mean, we're not that far ahead on numbers. And actually, the push around the western flank didn't go that well. There's now just a New Mexico down in the southwest corner. There's another New Mexico that's pushing down towards their cap along the 5 line. And the rest of their team, the rest of our team is more or less around here, but the rest of their team seems to be over here as well. So they are focusing Andy really quite hard at the moment. And this is why I chose to open fire. Basically, I'm trying to take some of the pressure from Andy. I'm also trying to screen him even from the Minikaze, but I kind of end up getting so focused on just trying to pepper these enemy ships with HE shells that I sort of forget about that. Now, fortunately, it doesn't backfire. The Minikaze doesn't end up going or getting to go for Andy, but that was no thanks to me. I should have still been more close to him, closer. Why don't I just say closer instead of more close? I don't know, brain. I don't know. Anyway, I should have been closer if I was actually going to effectively screen Andy, and instead I was just driving around in circles going, wee, I'm shooting at things, wee, fires. I've also had my one and only torpedo hit that I'm going to get for this game. This game was not about the torpedoes at all. The torps on this, 8 kilometers, you know, they are pretty useful on occasion. I think it's even possible to stealth drop with this, but it's not much of a range. But when you're sailing around firing shot after shot, though, I mean, stealth doesn't even come into it. So we're actually now starting to drive these guys back. There's still not a huge numbers advantage. We're only 1 ship ahead of them, but we do have more points than they do, because they've lost all but one of their battleships. And that remaining battleship is right in front of us. It's the Congo, and he's not looking very healthy. So that's been worth more points to us than them. We're also now starting to put pressure on their cap. So these guys up here are basically out of it. And of the 2 remaining enemies down south, which is a Cleveland and a Pensacola, as we can see from the minimap there, they are between 2 New Mexicos. But of course, I can't see the state of those New Mexicos. They're well outside my render range at this stage, so who knows how that fight is going exactly at this moment. So the Congo is just doing his best to try and pull back. I've taken a little bit more damage in the meantime, but there's now enough of us that these enemies aren't coordinating their fire. I mean, none of them are in a division, so they're just kind of shooting at whatever is sort of most available to them, and that's been great for Andy, because he's now not just getting completely focused down as the biggest target, and it also means everyone's health is being shared out a little bit better. So the Myoko is now looking like, I mean, the Congo's pulled way back. The Nuremberg is also far enough away that I think I can comfortably dodge his shots, but this Myoko's getting a little too close now, so I'm going to switch my focus to him. I've also got the Mayhan now here with me as well, although you can see his torpedoes have all missed. But he's also using his guns, and they're not quite as powerful as these Soviet destroyer guns, but they still do have the rate of fire. They still have an excellent turret turn time. In fact, the American destroyers, generally tier for tier, have by far the best turret turn time. They are excellent dogfighters, and if you get into a turning fight with an American destroyer, they are almost certainly going to be able to keep their guns on you, no problem. So I put down some smoke, which is for the benefit of both myself and the Mayhan, and the Myoko, well, he's not only had me and the Mayhan firing at him, but I think Andy and the Pensacola might have been as well. So he's now down, and I actually pick up the kill, which is rather nice. So we're skipping on ahead again, and this time it's the turn of the Nuremberg, who is not looking particularly healthy to begin with. So again, trying torpedoes, but these are not going to do anything. So I'm actually going to now start peppering him with shots. And as he's a nice broadside target, I actually queue up some AP shells. My first salvo is HE. Might get a fire if I'm lucky, but no. But I'm going to put my aim a little bit lower, try and get some AP into his hull, and I don't think I get any citadels out of this guy, but even so, the damage of the AP shells against this broadside cruiser, I think it was worthwhile doing. They get some quite nice volleys. So that was over 3,000 damage there. That was not too shabby. Another one of those, and I've got him. No, okay, Confederate medal though. Haven't got the kill. Maybe I can get him with this lot. And there we go. So that's finished him off. So that's my third kill. And I'm now sitting pretty on over 40k damage, which has mostly been with guns. And mostly of those shells fired, it's been HE shells. So yeah, I set a couple of fires. It's been 5 fires. I had 1 torpedo hit with 1 flooding caused, but they almost certainly damage controlled that very quickly. Oh, well, there's the Minikaze tops. We've not seen him in a very long while, by the way. He's now the last enemy left alive. So, yeah, damage-wise, this was a pretty nice game. So, we've skipped ahead quite a few minutes, and we're actually in the last 30 seconds of the game. I thought possibly the Minikaze had gone back to try and decap and earn himself some more XP, but either way, we would have won. And literally in the last 20 seconds, we finally spot him, but this is not going to be enough time to actually kill him. He immediately smokes up. If we had 30 more seconds at this point, 40 seconds, I think we probably could have. I could have gotten further forward, spotted him. I could have done a bit more damage, but still, I can't exactly complain because it was a very nice match for me. Andy unfortunately doesn't do quite so well, but I would still say his presence on that flank was pretty important, because without a battleship there, I mean, I opened fire to take some of the heat off Andy, but if Andy hadn't been there in the first place with his hit points, with his armour, to absorb some of that damage, this might have been a different outcome. They might have successfully pushed around that flank. So, 7,500 AP damage, not too shabby. 30,000 HE damage, I'll take it. Another 11k from the fire damage, and there was a little bit of torp damage on top, nearly 9k there as well. So overall, it was a very nice game, and a very profitable game as well, nearly 300,000 credits. So of the premium destroyers I have, which is this, the Gremiashi, and the Błyskawica, I think overall it's actually really hard to pick. I'd probably still go with the Gremiashi as being my favourite of the 3, but the Anshan is actually a lot of fun, and the Błyskawica is a very powerful little ship as well. So yeah, there's some very nice premium destroyers in this game, and if you happen to pick up a low Yang, well, that's basically a Benson, just as this is basically a Gnevny. So it was a nice game, and usually when I feel like some destroyer action, I hop in one of those 3. I've also now got the Matsuki, but still, my main focus is still on getting that Yamato. I'm well over halfway in terms of XP. I still need a lot of credits. I've still got a whole bunch of ships that I could buy, but I'm just hanging on to the credits for that Yamato. So usually when I play these games, it's because I fancy doing something different. If I'm actually playing to grind, I hop in the Izumo or I hop in the Tirpitz to get, you know, lots of credits. Anyway, tomorrow's video, who even knows? Might be CK2, might be the Supporter Spotlight video, which I need to do in the next couple of days. Anyway, we'll see. But hopefully we'll now be getting into a more normal schedule again, and I can start to relax slightly. Not that I should complain. This isn't exactly the hardest job in the world. It can have its moments of stress or whatever, or just not having enough hours in the day to do everything, but I can hardly complain. There are certainly much worse, much more stressful jobs around, and I don't know, it's a funny thing that I'm effectively being paid to do this, but on the other hand, it means I'm doing it well enough to keep everyone entertained, and you know, that's what keeps me going at the end of the day. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, you can leave any comments below, you can hit the like button, you can sub to my channel if you aren't already, and as always, stay tuned for more.